Hi everybody and welcome to my channel, Harmony Stitches. I'm Harmony and here I talk about my crafting journey, which usually revolves around cross stitch, but lately I've had a lot of knitting and sometimes a bit of crochet. It's kind of funny because crochet used to be my go-to craft, but over the years it's kind of morphed and now my go-to craft is usually cross stitch, and I knit quite a bit when the bug bites me. So happy Labor Day weekend if you are in US or Canada. We're both having our Labor Day weekends. For us in here in the US, a lot of us get 4-day weekends. I particularly and my husband got a 3-day weekend. Yesterday was Saturday, so we traveled up to my sister's and then went a little bit farther to go to the yarn shop because there was a coupon that I had. So I'll show you what I got a little bit later. So first, let's go ahead and talk about knitting. I told you last week that I have plans for my knitting and crochet. Cross stitch. I'm not crocheting right now. And I was working on the Protest is Patriotic shawl. Mine is a little bit smaller, so it's more like a shawlette or a scarf, which is fine. It worked out. And I said I was going to continue knitting on it until I completed the knitting, and then I was going to start working on the baby sweater. Well, I had to dig through my cross stitch projects, and this all ties together, so follow me here. I had to dig through my cross stitch projects to make sure that my WIP wheel was up to date because I was also going to start my WIP wheel back up. And I found another project that was hiding, a knitting project. So I'm going to show you the scarf and then show you the project that was hiding, okay? So I'm using for this, the white is Cascade Heritage, and then the blue and the red are from lolodidit. They're the loriginal base, and they're from the Quotable Dumbledore Club. One is Bravery and one is Courage. I do not know which one is which, and that's fine. I love the tonal colors in these, and it's making a really pretty shawl. So I only had, I think last week when I filmed, I had 14.5 stripes, and I wanted to get it done as soon as possible, and for some reason it was just killing me. But I got it done. So here's my cast off edge. Look at how long it is. Cast off edge. And all of my stripes and my ends that need to be woven and down to the blue. I really do wish that my blue section was bigger, but it is not, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But in the meantime, I have 128 ends to weave in, if I counted correctly. Even if I didn't, it's a whole ton of ends. So I am going to take this back down, set it next to my chair, and I'm going to work on weaving the ends in a little at a time. And then when I get it done, you will see it again in its full glory, completed. So I got the knitting done on that. So even though it was about a week and a half prior, I did get 2 projects done. I got the big comfy sweater done, and I got this done. And then, like I said, I found a project that was hiding. I totally forgot about it. I had it on long straight, and I know that these are not longest straight needles that you can get, but they are pretty long, and they're empty. So this is a poncho that I was working on using Lion Brand textures in the colorway Mountain Dawn, and they're wound differently every single skein. So this one has a lot of blue and purple on the outside, but there's oranges and kind of a hint of brown, shades of blue, shades of purple in here. And I got this out and I said, you know what, I can probably have this done. The last time I worked on this, I remember I was getting pretty close, and I can do it. So my sister's house is about an hour and 20 minutes away. And I'm like, if I knit all the way there, knit all the way back, I'm going to have this done. Well, I knit 2, 4, 6, 8, about 8 rows. And then we were only about a half an hour, 45 minutes into our trip. And I was like, oh, I should have measured this before we left the house, because what if I was only like 4 inches from the end of finishing it and I just keep going, and it gets super big. So I stopped. We picked up my sister. We went to the yarn store. I forgot to buy a measuring tape. She says, I've got one. So we measured it. What we did is fold it in half, because you make a big long rectangle. We folded it in half, measured it, and it was 22 inches, which equaled 44 for the full length. And then we pretended to put it on. So she wrapped it around me the way that it would be when it was completed. And she said, oh my gosh, I think that you can quit. You can quit now. You don't have to knit anymore. I said, well, you know, I've already started the skein, used quite a bit of the skein already. So why don't I just knit all the way home, get where I get, bind it off, and call it a day? And she's like, yeah, that'll work, because it's fine. You're petite. It'll be fine. So we were getting ready to have lunch. My brother-in-law was cooking burgers on the grill. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just pick it up and start knitting. So I'll show you the different here. So the yellow is where I started. The green is where I stopped, and then picked it back up when I was knitting at lunchtime. And then I knit all the way home. And then I did 2 more rows of the plain knitting, and then put on there's ribbing. I don't know if you could see it exactly, but there's 4 rows of ribbing on the end. So the knitting on the poncho is actually complete. I got it done last night about 10:45 p.m. I stayed up late because my husband was away and I was waiting for him to get back. Well, what happened is I fell asleep between 8 and 9 o'clock, and I woke up and got a second wind. So I'm almost finished. So I did 2 more rows, 4 rows of ribbing, and then the cast off to complete this. I have a couple ends to weave in, and then I left my end really long so that way I could seam up. So I'm going to seam this up and leave a hole like this big for my head. And it just sits diagonally on your shoulders, and it just makes a really great cape, poncho. It's a free pattern from Yarnspirations. If you just search their website for poncho, it'll come up. It's using one of the yarns in their Italian storyline, and it's sparkly, but I figured why buy yarn when I had this yarn? I actually have 3 skeins of another colorway. I will not be making this poncho, but I will be trying to find something else to make with it. It is a little bit hard to work with. That's why I chose to knit with it instead of crochet. But my sister crochets and knits, but mostly crochets. I'm going to give her the leftover colorway here. And if I can't find anything, I will actually send that yarn with her to see if she wants to be challenged to find something to make with it. So that was the knitting I've done this week. So now I have to pick up the supplies from my stash. They're here somewhere to make the baby sweater. It should only take me this week to do. It shouldn't take me that long at all. So I am going to start that either tonight or tomorrow, which is Memorial or Labor Day. So I have the whole day off. It's a whole extra day. I do have to do my stitches on Lady of the Flag for the Travel the USA challenge from the Michigan Cross Stitch group. I have to go 841 miles, which is 841 stitches. It will take me a little bit, take me about 4 or 5 hours to get that done, but then I have the whole rest of the day where I can knit on that baby sweater. So we'll see. And maybe I'll take breaks, or maybe I'll just see how much I can get done before lunch and then pick it back up Saturday. I don't know, but I want to get this baby sweater done, so we'll see. Okay, so then now on to cross stitching. So, you know that last week I said once I got done with the bumblebee or the bee from Amy Bruecken, I was going to do my WIP wheel again, and that's why I was fussing about with that. So here is the bee by Amy Bruecken Designs. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I am so sorry. I just don't know any other way to say it. Okay, and remember, I am making mine on the pre-made form, but I had to rip out the stitches so I can get the stitching done, and I did it. I did get it done Wednesday night. I cheated and I came home Wednesday night. I had 3.5 rows left on the top of his head. So I'm like, I'm just doing this and getting it done. I'm not taking it back to work for 3.5 rows. So I did do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refold the fabric so that way it's got a tighter margin around the 3 sides here, the bottom and here. And then sew this bad boy up and then stuff it. And I need to go to, I heard that Dollar Tree has dowel rods, and that's just what I'm going to use on here to because I'm thinking I could leave a little space for a dowel rod, and then I could prop it up in a cup or something, or then I can take the dowel rod out, and I mean, there's going to be a little tiny hole, and it's not going to matter any. So that is 3 projects done between Sunday and Sunday of last week when I did my video, and then yesterday, Saturday, September. Why am I keep saying the wrong things? September 3rd. So from last Sunday to yesterday, September 3rd, I got 3 projects done. And I'm super excited because I went for a long time without having any projects completed. I was kind of feeling bummed out. So I didn't even get any completed during my Patriotic stitching in July, I don't think. And that was really focused. I got a block done on Stars and Stripes. That was about it. So when I was going through my projects and updating my WIP wheel, I put tags on all of my project bags, except for my handmade ones, because I need to get a piece of twine to loop through the zipper. But someone had given me these little cards. It has a pencil with a blank side and then the lines on one side. So I went ahead and wrote, that was just a giveaway that George Decorates for Martha came up on the WIP wheel first. So I'm not going to insert the video for that then. Because it was getting really hard to dig through the bin, and actually my bin was overflowing. So they were spilling everywhere. And I discovered that I had 31 projects. But then when I did the WIP wheel again, this morning, I found that it spun something, and I'm like, wait, I just went through the whole bin and I didn't find that project. So I had to go through again and find it. So Thursday and Friday, I worked on George Decorates for Martha, and this is by Plum Street. And I'm using a mix of all but 3 of the colors are overdyed or hand-dyed floss, and the 3 are DMC, but still some of them I think I have converted or used the conversion for DMC on here, just because some of them, the area wasn't big enough to justify the cost. So I picked this up for just 2 days, but I got pretty decent progress for the 2 days. I do have a strand hanging because I fell asleep and didn't finish it before Thursday was over. I am using 28 count Monaco that I heavily coffee tea dyed, or maybe it just got baked a bunch. I'm not sure. This has been a long time. It's been a long time since I did this fabric. Okay, so here we are. This is where I'm at so far. Oops. Sorry, let me refold this. Everything's slipping. All right, here we go. George Decorates for Martha. So I put in the tree trunk here, and I worked a tiny bit on the house, and that's where I left off. And then pretty much all of these stitches, except for the door, are new. So I did get quite a bit in, and it's a lot of counting to go around the frames of the windows, and I got the 3 of them in. So I'm really happy with the progress. I mean, I only put 2 days into it, and that was basically at work on my 2 lunch breaks, and then I think I did a little bit on Friday night here at home. So I really didn't work on it a ton, but I did get quite a few strands put in. Okay, so then this morning the WIP Wheel chose Folk Art Christmas by Artecy. I'll put in a video. Oops, I already had it open. And this was a new start during 12 Days of Christmas last December. So I had only put in 2 days worth of work on it. And I am already not approaching, like doubling what I had, but I know that I'm going to at least double it. I'm thinking that I could quadruple the amount of stitches that I have in here by the end of the week. And that would be fantastic. Because this is like, as you can see from the picture, there's different bands that go across. So it's going to take me a while, especially since the next band is solid stitching. So here's what I have so far. So basically what I had last time is the green band across the bottom, the tree and the deer, and then this little bobble right here. All the rest of it is new just today. So I put in this bobble, the star, the poinsettia, this star, and then the star on these 3 things. All of that's new today. So I'm already getting good progress. Sundays I do tend to get good progress because especially if I stay home and watch church on YouTube, which I did. We live stream every Sunday, and my daughter and I stayed home. So I stitched during church. 2 reasons why I do that. Well, maybe they're kind of rolled into one reason. Because at church, even everywhere, at conferences, at work, if I'm just sitting, I will fall asleep. So my husband will not permit me to take socks and knit on socks during church in person. But at home, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. And it will, if I'm not, I'm going to fall asleep. So I have fallen asleep at church for years in person every Sunday. And it's just my body. I do it at conferences for work too. And I'm embarrassed by it, but I don't know how else to prevent it. So a lot of people are talking, I've seen a lot of people talk about why is it not normalized to be able to knit during or crochet during a conference, because they say that it actually it helps you settle your mind so you're able to engage and listen and participate in the conference better. So I don't see anything wrong with it. So I did start the poinsettia, and I got all of the red on the poinsettia done during church service. So yay. And this is 18 count. It looks like off-white Aida, and I'm using the called for DMC was 890, 904, 2 shades of green, and 608, which is a bright orange. I had bought the bright orange not really realizing what on earth I was buying, or, that I wasn't quite remembering that I was buying it for a Christmas pattern. And then I got home and I was putting them all in the bags and stuff and kitting everything up. And I told my husband, I said, this isn't right. I'm not using bright orange. It was like hunter's orange. If you're from Michigan and you are a hunter, or you know someone that hunts, you know hunter's orange. So my husband said, just pick out a red that you like. So the next time I went to the store, I grabbed a 890, I grabbed a 904, I put them side by side, and then I just went down the row of reds and I picked one, and I picked 498, which is a lot better for me. It suits. Ooh. Okay. Now that was all of the projects that I worked on this week, knitting and cross stitch, and I'm gearing up for another week. I'm going to continue to work on Folk Art Christmas during my breaks at work and see how far I can get. I'm hoping that I can at least finish the 2 bands at the bottom, the border and then the band. It mirrors, so there's a tree and a deer on the other side, and I think I can do it. If I get at least that part done or the equivalent of that done, then I will be super happy with the progress on that. And then I'm going to pick up and start knitting, if not finish, the baby sweater. And that will be 4 projects in 3 weeks. So I'm 4 weeks. Maybe it's 4. 1, 2. It'll be 4 weeks. And so that'll be really great because I have so many projects that I want to start that I need to get need to get my WIPs done. But with that, even that hiding WIP that I got done, I have 2 sweaters knit-wise, or talking about knitting, I have 2 sweaters that need to be finished. One, basically, I just have the bottom hem done and I need to just do the rest of it. One, I had it completed, but I have to rip out the neck and modify it so that way it lays on my shoulder blades and my collarbones the way that a sweater should. It's supposed to be a high neck sweater, but I don't know why mine and several others didn't turn out well, so we need to rip them back and modify. They probably finished theirs a long time ago, but I got so discouraged and I may have cried and I just set it down and never picked it back up. So that one, less than a day and I will have it done. I have to graft the armpits or the underarms and then sew in all the ends and it's finished. So that one probably 2 hours or less and I would have it done. And then, like I said, the other one just needs to be finished knitting. Oh, and I have that sock, the Devil Snare sock, if you want to count that one. So technically 3. And then once I get those completed, then we are going to go back to dishcloths for Christmas. I might have to sneak some of those in between WIPs just to make sure that I get them done on time. I have 12, but I want to get about 20, 25, so that way people can just pick and not get felt that they're left with something. So that brings me to my purchases at Tawas Bay Yarn Company. I drove up there yesterday and got some things because of my coupon. So I got four of the Coastal Cotton by Queensland collection. I've got a light pink and a light lavender. What are their names? Rose Quartz and Wisteria. Very, very good names for these two. To coordinate with violet and magenta. And I also thought that the blue that I have left over, let me grab it. Oh, it's not in there. Oh, here we go. The blue, I figured that either the purple or the magenta would go very well with this, so that way I could use up my leftovers. So if I continue to get 4 and then some out of each of these, I'll get at least 16 more, maybe 17, 18, maybe 20 out of the 4 skeins that I just purchased. So, and the remainder of the blue. So we'll see what happens. But then I found a free pattern from Yarnspirations for a blanket, like a lap throw. I think it's a lap throw, which I love because I'm petite and they're a perfect size for me to cuddle up in the chair at night. Or like today, it was quite chilly. Hello, Michigan. It's 68 degrees outside. How fantastic is that? Oh, maybe 66. Sorry, 66 when I came up here. So I found this blanket pattern and it uses, I believe, half fisherman's rib. I've never done fisherman's rib, but it looks super cozy and squishy, and everyone I've ever heard talk about it says it's super soft and squishy, and so I wanted to make it. The pattern calls for, because it's Yarnspirations, it's going to use a pattern underneath of their umbrella, Bernat Softy Chunky, and that yarn store really doesn't carry commercial yarn, which is fine. It's great because then you're able to find, I mean, this is not a commercial. It may be commercial, but I mean, it's not like Lily Sugars and Cream, right? So you're able to find all different kinds of things. And I was looking for 2 different yarns. I used yarnsub.com, found 2 other yarns. She didn't have those, or if she did, I didn't find them. And then I said, wait a second, this is a blanket. It's not a sweater. I don't need a perfect match. You're right. I don't need a perfect substitute. And my sister said, well, yeah, why don't you use this over here? And it was on sale. So that was perfect. So it is a little bit on the chunky. It is a chunky. The tag doesn't have, this tag doesn't have any information. That's weird. This tag does not have any information about the yarn at all, which is really odd because I think some of them do. It's Cascade's Pluff, P-L-U-F-F. I really kind of didn't want to take that off, but that's okay. I did check Yarnsub, and Yarnsub is saying that this is not discontinued. I've just never seen it anywhere before, so you might be able to find it. This one doesn't either. So she must have, I remember seeing she's got tags at Tawas Bay Yarn Company on all of the yarns telling you if it's hand washable or if you put it in the dryer, what the suggested needle size is and things like that. So this is a chunky. I just don't have any information about I know it said a needle like 11 to 12 or 10 to 11. So and that's the needle size that was recommended for the Softy Chunky as well. So I'm probably going to use a 10. And see what do a couple rows of it has a guard stitch edge, see how it goes. And then, if I don't like my fabric, then I'll go up to 11, but I'm going to start with a 10 because I want it really dense and squishy, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so there's no information on these ball bands. I do remember that it said it was 200 grams, 242 yards. So I did get 5 balls. She only had 5 of this color. She didn't have, the only other thing that I could have done is bought multiple colors and then just striped it. And I really didn't want to do that. So I did buy 5. So I'm just going to knit as much of the 5 balls as I can and just make it as big as I can. So that'll be fun. So what I'll do is I will knit the bottom edging. Like I said, it has a garter stripe or garter border all the way around it. So I will do the bottom, I will weigh it, and then I'll know how much I need to save from the 5th ball when I'm getting toward the end. And then I will know when I need to switch over and do my last right side row and then start the garter edge. You know what I mean? So I'm super excited. I really am enjoying the Tawas Bay Yarn Company. The lady that owns it and runs it is super nice and very helpful. And I just enjoy her store. She has so much in there. It's really great. So if you have a chance to travel to Tawas, you go through Tawas, through East Tawas, and it's north, or is that north still? Past Walmart, past Tractor Supply. It's on the northernmost end of town. So if you have a chance to travel, if you're in Michigan or visiting Michigan, go visit the Tawas Bay Yarn Company because I'm really enjoying her shop. She's open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5. So you should be able to find a time to stop in and say hello, browse around, see what she has. She's got a lot of deals. She has a sale room. I've been there twice now and still haven't made it into the sale room, but I've gotten sales on the regular floor as well. So stop by. I hope that you have found something to inspire you this week. Maybe pick up a languishing WIP or try something new. I really hope that you are enjoying watching my videos and spending time with me each week. And if you do, please subscribe. Please like the videos. That really does help get the video out to other people. You don't have to comment if you don't want to, but it is super fun to share ideas and to talk about what we're working on. I really do like feedback on what I'm working on. It really helps encourage me to continue on, to know that someone is watching these videos and getting something out of them. So please do any of those things. Like the Nifty Crafter, I think that's what her channel is called. She says, do all the YouTube-y things. So thank you so much for joining me again this week. And until next Sunday, bye.